heard me this morning. This is Bert taken out of context. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. It's over. Elizabeth Warren has dropped out of the race. We're in New York City. Right, pretty soon, I'm going to be selling this Clorox. I have like 10 of those, and I'm going to be selling them for like $25 a piece. Price gouging in effect, what? No, but I'm just saying, I carry it around. I'm always outside, so I always have this from the beautiful and clean, A-rated Starbucks over here on the story. But right there, no price gouging. Just wipe this stuff down. So besides coronavirus fears and everything else, the world continues to spin. I'm upset because I parked my hoopty in a spot and tried to pay for it with a credit card. They charged me the full price and did not give me a ticket, so I got to stand out here and tell my friends who work for the Department of Transit not to give me a ticket, because I'm disputing the fact that you guys owe me like $8. It's very hard to find parking over here in the store. So good morning. Love to everyone out there. Getting a late start today. I've been doing stuff. I was having wonderful conversations that engaged me. I'm looking on script. God is good. I have like 3 people who want me to work on their marketing campaigns. And Todd Rod, we got some business coming up. People want us to do some things with them, so that's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it here in the city. So, politics to me, I'm a sportsman, used to participate, now I love all sports. I love politics the way people love sports, that's why I'm saying that. And I'm just inviting these folks in. So now, Elizabeth Warren has dropped out. The field is contracting, which is what happens, the field's going to contract. Hopefully that the people that they have that are still available are going to be able to meet the needs of the populace in replacing Donald Trump as president. Elizabeth Warren got in there, and she was basically, her first thing was trying to get in there and saying that she was going to be anti-corruption. And she's a moderate, she's a centrist, whatever, and now she is gone. The party is trying to unify itself behind Biden. I don't think there's anybody who wants Bernie to win. They're afraid of the Democratic Socialist title. They're afraid of what he'll do to the established corporations that are out there. Nobody really wants him to win. I think that a lot of stuff that he says that I think America has time for, I think America is ready for, they don't. And they immediately think that Biden can dodder his way to a victory over Trump. I would hope so. All of my beautiful friends who are tuning in, I don't know what you guys are doing today, but I love you. Everything is going well. So Elizabeth Warren being gone, how does that change things? I mean, all I can say is that I'm just seeing the information come across. I hope that she did not sell herself short. I hope that she's said something along the lines of, I'm ending it. And if I'm going to throw my support behind the ticket, that I get something out of it. I'm hoping, she dropped out. Elizabeth Warren has dropped out. According to some reports, the main thing that help her decide to go is that if you can't carry your home state. Literally, Biden did not campaign in Massachusetts, did not show up. That is her home state. It should have been a gimme. In the same way that little man, Bloomberg, realized that American Samoa meant that he wasn't going to do it. And he saw that all he was American Samoa. He was very gracious in accepting the victory. But the writing was on the wall. It's over, son. It's over. I hope my head is not too big. It's over. For Elizabeth Warren, I think what it was is that failure to really do well in Massachusetts just really pushed her. A Hoveler says Warren was my favorite candidate. I actually like Warren. I like Klobuchar. I like them both. But my thing is that I was saying before that it's going to get down to time before the convention that you want to have the Democratic platform set, and you want to have a united front and everything else, and you're just hoping that Biden doesn't dodder himself out of it, because now everyone has essentially showed their soft white underbelly to the Biden campaign and saying that we're more afraid of what would happen if Bernie won than we are, with anything else. I mean, we had a chance to really do something special, speaking as a Democrat. There was a chance to do something special. It's a chance to actually give America a choice. Give America a choice between populist candidates. I don't think that Bernie is going to give up. He's going to carry this to a floor fight at the convention. But with everybody now united against him, it's going to isolate him even more, because if he asks T.O.o.C to come and speak at the convention, it's going to make people even angry. Lee Rivera says, Sanders and Warren were my hope. My hope has been from the beginning that everyone that gets, as they fall by the wayside, they add to the Democratic platform. I'm going to say it again. The platform should not be Biden's return to normalcy. I am telling you that if Biden runs and wins on return to normalcy, he will go down as an ineffective one-term president. I'm telling you that now. I'm looking through my crystal ball into the future, and I'm telling you that if Biden was to win, he will be mostly ineffective, and he will only be a one-term president. And it could be the sounding of the death knell for the old establishment Democratic Party. I'm almost at a point where I said there should be if there's a minimum age to be president, there should be a maximum age to be president, and that maximum age should be 72. Now, when you first run, you have to be 72, and then we need some new blood at the top. I am not impressed by Biden, but I like him more than I like Trump. Just telling you that. So it says Elizabeth Warren to end her presidential campaign, according to reports. The Massachusetts senator is expected to inform staffers on Thursday morning that she intends to suspend her bid for the 2020 Democratic nomination. The New York Times and other outlets are reporting that. Hopeless says Sanders is terrible at presenting his idea to the public as effective alternatives. And that's the thing. Right now, in the hospital here in New York City is the governor of New Jersey, whose name escapes me right now. I should know what it is. He is pretty left-leaning. He was able to get elected. He's pretty much increasing taxes and spreading money around and telling counties that we're getting too much money out of the pot for education and stuff like that it's going to end. But he's going to give them a year to make the changes. He says black education in New Jersey is poor. I'm going to redistribute the wealth so that everybody, no matter what color, culture, creed, whatever they are, can get good education in New Jersey. He did not run on those things. He is probably the idea of a moderate to left Democrat who is able to win a state that sometimes can be a little purplish. New Jersey is not, New Jersey's interesting. So, if I said it before, people said that Bernie is wishy-washy. He's not wishy-washy. He's just so intractable. He's monolithic in his thought process. He's just not going to change. And that's what's causing him a problem. Again, good music playing in the background, no rights occurring music, don't you mute me, Facebook. Hopeless says Biden comes across as bright as a 3-watt bulb in a blackout. He fumbles and stumbles at important moments. That's the issue. But the thing is, America is okay with that because we have it from the president. The main thing with Biden is that if Trump attacks Biden on those things, the late night TV hosts, who are definitely pro-Democrat, all of them, are going to continue to slam him even harder than before. So we're having two men who are battling senility going to be running this country. That's going to be terrible. I mean, we're waiting for people that could be great politicians, and I say this, not that I am not a friend of Hakeem Jeffries. I've met him a few times. I've actually worked alongside of him, and I think Hakeem Jeffries is definitely presidential timber a few years from now. But before we get to that, we've got to sort of cull the older parts of the herd. I think it's one of those things where it is an age thing, it is an idea thing. I think being centrist and safe does not work for the Democratic Party. I think that Hakeem Jeffries could run. Listen, I think, again, you guys know, if you know me, I like Tim Scott, a Republican black senator from South Carolina. I think Tim Scott could run and invigorate the Republican side. I think Will Hurd who would probably be my director of Homeland Security if I was president, happens to be Republican, happens to be a man of color, happens to be something the Republicans should be pushing forward because he could win the presidency. He clicks some boxes and stuff like that. So we got to be coming to the end of the standard Democrat ticket. I still think that Biden has a chance to beat the president in November. I still think that Bernie Sanders, if given a chance to present what he's about, had a chance to sway some people who are Trumpists. Because, like I said, the morons that go to the rallies are not indicative of the average American. And I think they're smart. And I think there's a chance that if Sanders was given a chance, but he's getting cut off at the knees by his own party. So it's one of those things. There was a guy back in the 50s named Alf Landon. I'm a political buff. And Alf Landon was somebody who was considered, he could have been president. But unfortunately, Alf Landon came to prominence around the time of Roosevelt. Then there was Truman, and then you had the post-war hero and stuff like that. And for years, Alf Landon was supposed to run, and they said he'd be a great president. He was one of the brilliant people like Adlai Stevenson and stuff like that. People who never had a chance to win, but were great politicians. I think that Bernie Sanders is going to go down as a joke, as a footnote, not really a footnote, but as the idea of someone who could have probably been a really good president, but he was opposed on all sides, including his own party. And for people of color, if you're going to vote Democrat, look at all the people who are Democrat and see who speaks most to you. And it's a shame that so many people have this idea that socialism is just 100% bad. And because of that, Sanders has no chance to win. I am not impressed by Biden. I wish Biden was 70. I wish he had the mind that he had when he was 65, if he's going to be representing the country and stuff like that. So if you guys saw immediately, I put up this. Earlier, this is Bert taken out of context. I put this up. Now it's backwards, but on the other camera, you can see it straight. It's Clorox disinfectant wipes. Like, these are going to be going for like $20 soon. Go out and buy them just to clean your area that you're on. I don't think anything wrong with taking this out, wearing surgical gloves on the train, and before you touch the pole, pull out one of these and wipe it down. I think that's something that can happen. Jermaine, miss you, brother. How are you? For people watching this on YouTube, you guys, I don't have a clean capture of the screen with all the dialogue coming up, but this is originally being launched on Facebook, and my homeboy Jermaine Roberts, who I've not seen in a matter of weeks, but we miss you. You're talked about at church, son. You're missed. I hope everything is going well with you. He's on here. But yeah, carry around Clorox wipes. Let me give Clorox like they need more money. Hold on a second. That's Clorox. The Clorox wipes, carry this around. I wipe down my car, I wipe down anything I touch, the table here, my equipment, everything before I go on. It's just a precaution and stuff like that. Hoarding face masks, I thought face masks were cool anyway, especially a lot of the Asian people, folks wear the really cool face masks with like the different designs on it. I thought this was cool anyway. I keep my scarf clean, do this, and I'm good. So if I do the show like this, I don't know if you can hear me because it's probably muffled or whatever. But anyway, stuff like that. We have more coronavirus cases here in New York. It has still not reached the pandemic levels of other diseases and stuff like that. Do not panic. You do not have to run out and buy 1,000 bottles of water and Purell and stuff like that. Although a $5 bottle of Purell is now going for $8 here in Astoria. So anybody watching from the city, you might want to come through and check all the stores in this area where Purell is, the price on the bottle is $5.99 and they're selling it for $8.99. I love Astoria and I support them, but that's price gouging already, Bernie Sanders will not accept money or support. He needs to compete. Yeah, Bernie Sanders, no one wants Bernie Sanders to win. If you have money, if you're part of the status quo, if you're part of any of the establishments that he's attacking, insurance, medical, big corporations, big pharma, everybody has a vested interest. They want to keep their profit margin and everything else. They have no interest in Bernie Sanders staying in the race. That's it. It would have been nice to see Bernie get a chance. It would be nice if somebody young had won and made Bernie Sanders vice president. Would have been interesting. Hopefully, I can't invite people in anymore. They cut that in November. December 5th was the last broadcast direct through Facebook where I can pull somebody in. If I didn't bring my computer today because I'll be on the road. If I had pulled you in through OBS or one of those programs, I could have brought you into the show like that. I would have invited you in that way, but you can't. And also, I don't have all my stuff to bring you in through the phone. That's why the last couple of times I've had anybody on, I have them call on my other phone and literally place the phone next to the take my headphones off, place the phone next to them. We do open air, but I'm not sure if we'll pick up too much background noise. Jennifer Akins, educator, how are you? Jennifer Akins, you're an educator. What are they doing in the schools to make sure the schools remain clean here in New York? I know we've had another case out here. I'm in the Bronx. We've had a suspected case in the Bronx. We've had cases in Westchester County and now in Manhattan. What are schools? If you're an educator and you have on a break or whatever, or you're not working today, or you're hiding from the kids smoking in a broom closet because they're little monsters, what are you guys doing? Or to get context, what are you guys doing to keep the schools clean? Do you have extra cleaning crews on? Are you wiping the kids down as soon as they come into class? You just spray them with. If you're West Indian, you just put Dettol in a spray bottle and just spray everything around you in Dettol. Through everything else. I know it's antiseptic, but Dettol cures everything. I told you yesterday. If you're black or West Indian, Cersei, sorrel, Manish water, Dettol, all those things cure everything. And hot ginger ale. Not just regular ginger ale, but hot ginger ale like it's tea. It just fixes everything. What's really funny is I just beat, by coming on here and telling you that Elizabeth Warren was cheating, back it up, that Elizabeth Warren was dropping out of the race. MSNBC just put it up, but I was on Twitter, and Twitter gets things fast. Remember I told you guys I was part of something called the Information Underground? The Information Underground fell apart. And I can talk about it now. The Information Underground was people that worked for UK Mail, worked from USA Today, and various other sources. As soon as they saw something, even before some guys from Reuters, before it came out on the regular wire, they would tweet it out to some of us who knew where it was. So we get information early. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. But MSNBC and other places are just starting to put it up now about Elizabeth Warren supposedly dropping out. I hope that she gets some concessions from Biden behind the scenes. I said it in the other show. Whatever the machinations are, I hope that there's somebody out there saying that, look, let's make sure that this part of my platform, what I wanted, will be part of your platform, or we're going to have a floor fight. It's going to be really messy if I pull my support from you and switch it to Bernie on the floor during the Democratic convention. And it's not over yet, folks. It's not over. Yeah, Hoveless says they should be hosing the kids down with Clorox to make sure they're not spreading anything. And I guess I put Jennifer on the spot. I don't want to get her in trouble because if you're an educator, I guess I don't want you talking about that. But if you guys have an idea of what's going on, let me know. Like, what are they doing to make sure the schools are clean? Yes, Hoveless said the Information Underground did not fall apart; it was dismantled. I remember there was one day that one Saturday morning I was actually here. I was actually here at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and President Trump pressed send on a tweet, and it was Information Underground had it by 6:02, and I put a post up for you guys about what he said that quick. And then you waited like 15, 20 minutes before the regular news outlets got a hold of it. And as I see how I think that some of the coverage of Bernie is unfair, I think that for people who, it's not a revelation, but in many ways, MSNBC and CNN and everything else, everybody has an agenda. And just because the agenda aligns with me doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, there's no agenda as this. Of course there's an agenda. Of course CNN can be just as bad as Fox and stuff like that. It's definitely an agenda. But I think free form, free press, social media, you might get the best information because everybody's putting it out. The only problem is you have to read through it yourself to figure out what the truth is. Way back in the days, if you're an old head like me and you first got a satellite, they used to have these things called wild feeds, where like you turn to NBC and you see Tom Brokaw just sitting there or drinking tea while he's waiting to come up, and then they switch to him live and he'd say something, then he'd switch back. So you got a chance to hear news anchors curse and everything else. It was just the raw feed, the wild feed from all the stations on the satellite. That's kind of how news is going to be going forward. You're not going to always get everything that you want from CNN, whatever. You have to find a way, but it takes more intelligence to figure out what you're reading through if you're not being spoon-fed information. This is Bert taken out of context. So if you go by the mainstream media, and I hate to be like those guys who make fun of the mainstream media, but in this case, in the same way that these channels were treating Trump, it's the same way the supposed centrist, middle, or true news networks were treating old man Bernie. So in a situation where Bernie just got a chance to get out and say what he wants to say, he can still get planks as part of the Democratic platform going forward. He's not going to get everything. I'll give you another political example because politics to me are like sports and I have a lot of knowledge part of my head. Back in the 80s, Jesse Jackson ran for president. So before Obama ran, there was Jesse Jackson. And one of the reasons why Jesse Jackson was so convinced that Obama couldn't win because he knew what he went through when he ran. And I think and one of the things that came out of him running is, he was brought down by the fact that he used the term Jaime Town and all that kind of stuff to talk about the Jewish shopping areas in Delancey Street here in New York City. Who I just touched my eye, so now, anyway. So when he ran for president, I think it was the horrible Mondale Fierro ticket. I think that was the election that he ran in. It came down to the convention, and they were like, well, you've electrified people with your campaign and everything else. You kind of get a say in how we put this platform together. So one of the things that came out of it was that Jesse Jackson, in his wonderful style, lyrical style, said, we need somebody to handle the drug situation in this country and not the FBI and CIA and everything else. So he said, we should create an office. So they were like, what do you mean? He was like, there should be like somebody over, like a czar, a drug czar. So one of the things that became part of the Democratic platform is that idea of there being a drug czar and stuff like that. Part of it came from Jesse Jackson. That's one of the things he had put in there, some other wordings and stuff inside the platform of the ticket. So that's something that goes on. So for everybody who's, again, I said, showing their neck and their soft white underbelly to the Biden campaign or Democratic side, y'all need to make sure that some of the things that you stand for are part of it. So I'm not sure, I did not see here on the listing if Elizabeth Warren has automatically said she's going to throw her support behind Biden. But we'll see what happens. Rainbow Coalition, there you go. So I'm going to keep reading. So Elizabeth Warren dropping out of the 2020 U.S. presidential race. Once a front runner, she was unable to build broad support and place third in her home state. If she had finished a close second in her home state, Biden didn't go to Massachusetts. He didn't think he was going to win. He didn't do one appearance, didn't put anything up there, nothing. People just got the idea from watching national news and something else. When that happens, you finish third in your home state, and the cat you're going against didn't even bother to show up. Yeah, in the embarrassment, and just give it up. And again, I'm waiting for, can someone, if you're Facebook friends with Tulsi Gabbard, find out where she is and where she's campaigning and find out how long she's going to stay in. Because right now, there's fruit flies. There's Biden, there's Gabbard, and there's Old Man Bernie. That's it, like Old Man Logan. Remember, the movie Old Man Logan ended badly. So that's what it is. And also, someone is saying that the young people who support Bernie didn't show up in the primaries, and he might have secret support and everything else. I don't know, kids. I don't know. It's up to you to figure that out. So Massachusetts Senator and presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren plans to drop out of the Democratic primary Thursday and wake up a disappointing Super Tuesday. Excuse me for coughing. That's what you get. The hopeful says, I'm with Killer Mike, who's really intelligent. we have to put together a 10-point platform of needs to take to the politicians. Because right now, you have 20 people that ran for president, and of those 20 people, you could have a nice platform. But I think that from all the people that ran, even for Cory Booker, who I think was going to hit the wall eventually, backtracking, many people think, and I say this, I'm not famous, I can say things that I want to say or whatever. I think many people were very intrigued about what was going to happen if Cory Booker's campaign came off, and the fact that he's a Christian, the fact that he could possibly be gay, the fact that his relationship with what's her name was actually a beard and not really a real relationship and stuff like that. And if that was going to come to a head, if that was going to be an issue, but he dropped out beforehand. But I think that he had a definite chance to win. But that's one of the things. Cory Booker, people are very polite. Mayor Pete was already out. Nobody wants to out Cory, especially if he says, I have a girlfriend who I'm dating and stuff like that. If you're from New York, it runs upon the lines of Mayor Koch not being outwardly gay, but having girlfriends that fit the suit. One was, I think, Bess Myerson, with Miss USA or whatever. That was his girlfriend, wife, or whatever, to allay people's fears that he may have been gay. I'm going to say it right here. Eventually, Democrats and eventually Republicans, there is going to be an even more serious person running for president that is gay that's going to come up, and you have to deal with it. There's going to be someone who clicks every box that traditional African Americans like, and that person's going to be gay. And what are you going to do when that happens? And it's very interesting when it comes down to Christians. I was talking to a minister friend of mine. We have lots of minister friends on my pages, and I was breaking down in the ways that Trump is a cancer. And everything, he didn't have an answer to each argument that I had, but in the end he says, well, you know what, no matter what it is, I'm anti-abortion, I'm pro-life, so that's why I'm voting for Trump. I go, no matter what. So if it comes down to it, if you're a Christian and there's somebody who's running and he clicks every box, let's say he's gay and he's a Christian and he's this and he has all these things, he checks every boxes, he wants fairness, he's not going to attack Wall Street, but he's going to put some reforms in and everything else. Will you be able to make that same mark in your mind of, well, I voted for Trump because he had one thing he did well, and I'll put up with everything else? So what if a character, what if, because I'm thinking like a writer, what if somebody who's running for president comes out and he goes, I'm a person of faith, I am married and gay, I am anti-abortion, pro-life, and he has all these things that click the boxes. We do the same thing, where you swallow where you put up with the other bad things to get that one good thing you want. What if he clicks 9 boxes, but the 10th box is that he's gay? Where do you turn that way? And when it comes down to it, it kind of shows that if your faith is real or if your faith is actually a straw man. Hopefully it says it'll be 2030 before you get a candidate like you described. It's coming. Although Tulsi Gabbard and I share faith, I look at her with a raised eyebrow because she spelled her first name American style instead of the original Indian way. I got you. So it's very interesting what's gonna happen in the future. But yeah, so Elizabeth Warren is out. Please do not flip out over the virus. Keep a level head. Take precautions. Keep your hands away from your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Wash your hands. Where is it? It's in my coat, I think. Hold on. It's in my other side of my coat pocket. I'm not going to get up, but I carry hand sanitizer or whatever. Remember, most of the things are antibacterial. They're not antiviral. This is a virus. Cough into your sleeve. Do not do the full open mouth cough that I've encountered many times in the store from people from different cultures who think it's okay to send out clouds of spit everywhere. Yesterday I was doing a show and somebody in the back coughed and I started counting down. I said it only takes from one cough or sneeze uncovered back there behind me. You see how big it is? Starbucks. You see? One cough from back there is going to reach me in a few seconds. So whatever. Again, it's a double-edged sword. People are saying that if you have a mask on It's not going to keep you from getting the infection, and it's going to have a situation where doctors can't get the face mask and stuff like that. So it's two things. Somebody out there, should I say it out loud? I'm not going to give it away. But there's a certain thing you can do to make sure that your entire face is covered. I'm telling you, if you have the mask on and you still are in the subway and you touch the pole and then dig your finger up your nose or stick your finger in your eye, you still can get it. Yesterday, driving in, there was a guy next to me, and I don't know if you remember Seinfeld, the episode with the picking your nose while you're driving in a car. Son was in his car in his own little encapsulated in his own little boy in the bubble automobile, driving like this, with his finger up his nose to the crick, to there, just driving. And the next thing I noticed, so we're in traffic, the next thing I noticed is that besides doing that, he's taking his finger on his nose and he starts doing this. Whatever nose gold he finds, he ground into his fingertips and put his hands back on his steering wheel. I said, he's going to get out of his car, he's going to walk around, and he's going to either shake hands or he's going to touch a door when he opens it. Whatever was in his nose and in that nice hairy net that your nose is for, stop cutting your nose hair. How about that? Stop cutting nose and ear hair so he can catch the virus. But anyway, he's gonna eventually maybe high five someone or go and type something or go and touch the card reader when he comes into Starbucks, and he had his finger in his nose up to the crick and then did this, the rubbing it. It's really gross. But so the thing is, you just gotta be more considerate. If you're gonna be in your car driving around digging up your nose, at least wipe your hands or something. Do something different, whatever. For mustached and bearded people, I think maybe we're safe, I'm not sure. And one of my friends started a conspiracy theory. He goes, if you notice, there are very few cases in Africa. He goes, this is a targeted virus made in a laboratory and it does not affect black people. I'm like, okay. My homie who's gonna come in over my shoulder, who does the cleaning here in New York, he's got on a full medical surgical mask over his face. But he has to wear it for the job. See the big man there? There he is. So he keeps the area here clean, and he always wears a face mask in general. That's another thing. If you really want to get something, contractor mask. Go to what's it called? Lowe's, or what's the other place? Lowe's or whatever. And get a contractor mask. You want to wear that or whatever. So, those are things you can do. All right. So I'm keeping this short. Oh, I'm sorry, I fell behind. Latanya, how are you? Once again, folks watching on YouTube, I don't have a full screen capture. This is just on my little screen. If I had a full screen capture, you can see the questions and stuff that are being asked and all that stuff. It's a situation. You're welcome for the information sharing. It's what I do. I'm happy to do it. So yeah, go get the contractor mask. That's something that can actually keep out things different micron size and stuff like this. If this does continue, I will tell you, if this does continue to get worse, the only reason that you all don't know more about influenza and everything else, the first influenza outbreak, is that it lost in the news titles to World War I. But the first influenza, but the Spanish flu outbreak, I think it killed 18 million people worldwide. It was started in 1917 and went through. The only thing that pushed it off the front page was World War I. So we've had pandemics that are really bad. When you look at it right now, I'll be honest, it looks like with pushing back the Olympics. In Europe, they're only playing soccer. It's the main sport in Europe. They're playing soccer in empty stadiums, just the two teams playing and broadcasting and stuff like that. The idea they may push the Olympics back until September to see how if the virus runs its course. Those are good things, but pandemics can be very bad. Can be very bad, very bad. I'm taking a page from Trump. It can be very bad. Crossing the streams is bad. Kung flu fighting. Very good, Ahovola. Everybody was kung flu fighting. Ahovola says, if you must panic about dying from something, please make it more interesting than kung flu virus. There you go. There's other things that are concerned. And by the way, I don't have it with me because I was on the line at the bathroom here, and I'm going to end this real quick so I can divide it up. In the bathroom, talking to somebody online. I make conversations with people online. You have to pee to distract us. We don't pee on ourselves. You drink lots of coffee, you go to the bathroom a lot. And I was saying, I said to her, I go, I drink coffee and essential water. They're like, I drink essential water too. I said, I don't know how I got a part of that zeitgeist, a part of that thing, but I now drink essential water all the time. And the lady on the line, her and her husband both had to use the bathroom. She goes, whenever somebody takes out smart water, I slap it out of her hand. She goes, get away from me with that swill. And I go, good God, man, you might as well be giving her Poland Spring. Essentia is the thing in New York City. That's the new thing. Everybody has the big bottles of Essentia water and stuff like that. I don't know how I got sucked into the Essentia water cult. The only thing that interests me is when you go to freeze Essentia water, it turns space gray, like the back of your iPhone. And when you make ice cubes out of essential water, they are grayish and cloudy. So I don't know if that's a bad thing. So try it. The essential water challenge. Take a bottle of essential water, don't open it, put it in the freezer and let it freeze, and it turns this really cool space gray cloudy color. And when you if it doesn't freeze, when it freezes completely solid, it goes back. It's mostly normal. But there's a point where it reaches where it's gray. If you twist it, it becomes like you're drinking a slushie. It's like you're drinking a slushie. But if you make ice cubes out of it, the ice cubes are slightly gray. So that's it. The essential water challenge. Buy a bottle of essential water, put it in your freezer, watch it. There's going to be a point before it freezes solid where it turns gray. And if you make ice cubes out of essential water, they turn gray. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Maybe gray water is good. I'm a New Yorker. I drink water that is full of fluoride, aluminum, some guy named Tony, more fluoride, radium, metformin, Paxil, Ambien. That's what's in New York City water, and that's why it's so good. And that's why people in New York City are basically calm. So I drink New York City tap water. I can't eat pizza unless the pizza has a very slight metallic taste in it. And that really slight metallic taste comes from the metals that are in New York City tap water. That's why pizza every place else on earth sucks. It sucks because their crusts are boring. You make your crust out of New York City tap water, it's just delicious. It's what makes New York City pizza better. There's a really great pizza parlor on Long Island that I go to, where the only thing missing from it is that they need to go across the line from Nassau County into Queens and fill up buckets of water and then bring it back to make their pizza. That's the only thing that's missing. All right, so I'm out of here. This is Bert taken out of context. This went way longer than I expected, but it will be available on YouTube. Listen, my YouTube channel sucks. To be real with you, but I'm trying to build it up. So if you get a chance, if you have a Google account, if you have a YouTube account in your name, please go and friend request Bert Hubbard. Follow my page. You're going to see more stuff up there. So I'm just asking you to do that because it helps me out. Again, no rights to incidentally occurring music. I know you hear music in the background. Adam Kroger, thank you for staying through. You didn't say anything. Adam Kroger, Essentia. Anybody know how to spell essential water? Put that in there. It is, let me find the name, how you spell it. It's becoming the thing to drink here in New York. Every place you go, people are carrying big bottles, and it's actually taking market share away from swill like Poland Spring and good water like Smart Water. That is a new thing. If you want to be a hip New Yorker, that's what you're carrying around is Essentia water. It's actually really good. It's supposed to be pH balanced and stuff like that. What's up, Adam? ESENTIA, Essentia. Yeah, it's like $20 a case. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how I got it. This is it. Actually, the funny part is I've been putting myself trying to get a job to be an Essentia ambassador. But that's on Twitter. See, on here I can make fun of it, not on Twitter. Not on Twitter. So Essentia water. Again, if I had it on the computer, you can flip it, but you see what it looks like. That is the thing in New York City that's going to be the big thing this summer. If we're not all wearing, hazmat suits, if we're not wearing hazmat suits, we're just going to be drinking essential water, because that helps. Staying hydrated helps with the flu. This is not a joke, so Facebook, please don't take it down. Flu and colds and stuff like that, they've been known to be shorter duration if you stay hydrated. And for me, this is not a cure for anything directly, but every time I start to feel sick, I take airborne and emergency. Airborne and emergency. Those are two things I take whenever I start to feel anything, and it seems to cut the duration. Novel coronavirus, the novel viruses can lead you to getting colds and stuff like that. You fight them the same way. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. I think emergency works as the first sign of sniffles, and I think airborne works also. Adam Kroger says the only good water is filtered water, filtered through ground coffee beans. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take, because I have like 15 bottles of essential water in my house, I'm going to take essential water and use it for my coffee and see what happens. So if I come back like later on today or tomorrow with superpowers, I'm going to recommend it to you guys that you make your coffee with essential water. That's it. All right, folks, so I'm out of here. This is Bert taken out of context. Honestly, love you. Again, if you had New Year's resolutions and they're not following through with them, press the reset button and make whatever day that you're seeing this the day that you have a new resolution to live a better life and do better things. Stop beating yourself up. If at first you don't succeed, let yourself off and try again. That's what I always tell people. That's what I believe in. All right, so I'm out of here. Bert taken out of context. Peace out, Elizabeth Warren. Tulsi Gabbard, wherever you are, keep fighting the good fight. I know she's probably in, I don't know what small town and still campaigning. I hope that she stays in the race. We'll see what happens. Then she'll get a chance to have a speak. All 20 Democrats should have a chance to speak at the convention. All right, I'm done. No more politics. All right. Guys, have a beautiful day. Share this around. Love you. Be good. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just be knowledgeable, but don't be afraid. While I've been sitting there talking to you, I'm getting things about more cases of coronavirus here in New York City. There's suspected cases and stuff like that. I have to give our mayor of New York City and the governor of New York State credit for really, I have to give them credit for really being on top of the situation. A lot of respect for them. Give them credit for doing what they're doing. All right, so I'm out of here. God bless you guys. Have a good day. This is Bert taken out of context. Peace.